I'm Zachary Feinstein. I'm a professor at Washington University in St. Louis in the Department of Electrical and Systems Engineering.
I am Peter Coy, economics editor of Bloomberg Business Week.
I've watched all the Star Wars movies dozens of times, doing them in a single day.
I did see the first Star Trek movie, and I've seen little bits of some of the others.
Star Wars.
Star Wars! We are here talking about your paper called It's a Trap, Emperor Palpatine's Poison Pill.
There is a great disturbance in the Force.
My theory that I posit in this paper is that Emperor Palpatine planned it that if he were defeated at the Battle of Endor in Episode 6, there would be economic repercussions on such a scale that the rebels would never be able to take power. In the Episode 4, they build the first Death Star, and that is where Luke Skywalker blows up the Death Star. Episode 6, there's the second Death Star, and that one again gets blown up, this time by Lando Calrissian. So the sheer scale of the debt for building two Death Stars in such a short period, on top of the fact that there is no true central bank within the Star Wars universe, and the repercussions of these joint events would truly be a staggering loss to the galactic economy.
Now, when you say all this, where are you getting this from? It's not in the movies, is it?
No, so it's coming from these books, from the movies, from the TV shows,
All right.
and you can choose whether you want to find just what is considered canon and what is kind of considered legend at this point. I chose to accept anything that was in canon as much as possible, and anything that's not canon, I tried to stay away from, if I could at all avoid it.
Now, let's just walk through the paper a little bit.
Perfect. I started out coming up with the price of the Death Star. So the first Death Star was 140 kilometers in diameter, and this gave a cost of $193 quintillion for the first Death Star. The second Death Star was 900 kilometers in diameter. So I came up with a cost of $419 quintillion for the second Death Star.
How did you get from there to mass financial chaos?
So the problem is that the rebels killed Emperor Palpatine and presumably do not have a financial strategy for after they take power, which would cause the banks to have to write off $515.5 quintillion, assuming that some of the debt on the first Death Star was already paid off.
Your argument is essentially that the Rebel Alliance couldn't possibly get its hands on the levers of power and run the bureaucracy of the galaxy successfully.
Not immediately. So my contention is Emperor Palpatine had this as a trap. Even if they do attack, they can't kill me. They have to make an orderly line of succession, so I am still going to be safe.
So it's sort of mutually assured destruction.
Exactly. If the rebels had said, you know what, we're going to honor these debts, there still would have been a financial crisis due to the lack of deposit insurance, due to the lack of a lender of last resort.
When the two Death Stars were destroyed, nothing of productive use disappeared from the galaxy. So you could argue that as soon as those Death Stars were destroyed, the debt-paying potential of the galaxy increased.
The debt-paying potential of the galaxy would increase if there is a government that could collect those debts. To collect those taxes.
This is clearly a product of an obsessed person. After having gone so deep into the economics and finance, can you really just watch these movies like a regular fan anymore?
I don't think I ever watch these movies like a regular fan. Whenever I watch TV shows or movies and I see these type of questions popping up, I can't ignore it. This is my life.